As I am writing this script, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer Story, is the #1 trending limited-run series on Netflix. It tells the story of the heinous murders committed by Dahmer for a run that lasted over a decade, from 1978 until 1991. At least, that's what I'm told. Moment of transparency here. Everything that is slightly scary scares me, so I couldn't bring myself to watch this series after hearing commentary from both of my sisters. But this story is not about the Netflix show. It is about the inmate, Christopher Scarver, who killed Jeffrey Dahmer, and another inmate named Jesse Anderson on the same night in 1994, and why he killed both of them. Let's get into it. But first, if you like these videos about the most scandalous people from yesteryear who make Ty's Hot Mess History channel a time capsule for the culture, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know every time that I upload one of these videos or every time that I live stream. And comment "I subscribed" in the comment section so that I can say hello to you. Now, on to why you are here. 1991 brought an end to Jeffrey Dahmer's reign of terror. After killing a total of 17 men and boys in Ohio and Wisconsin in the most brutal fashions that included rape, dismemberment, necrophilia, and cannibalism, he was finally sentenced to a life behind bars in 1992. Ultimately, he was found guilty of 16 murders and sentenced to over 960 years behind bars. Jeffrey's final home would be the Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage, Wisconsin. There, Jeffrey Dahmer was reported to have finally expressed remorse for his gruesome actions, as well as wished for his own death. Well, luckily for him, there was someone there who wanted to kill him. Jeffrey would serve less than 2 years before his wish was granted by his fellow inmate, Christopher Scarver. But Scarver had a wish of his own, a 2-for-1 special, and just like Jeffrey Dahmer, Christopher would get his wish too. This is where Jesse Anderson enters the picture. Jesse was another fellow inmate at the Columbia Correctional Institution. He was serving a life sentence for murdering his second wife, Barbara. The couple married in 1985, and 7 years later, she was dead. On April 21st, 1992, Jesse and his wife were leaving a restaurant in Milwaukee when all of a sudden he grabbed her and stabbed her multiple times. All of the sources that I have seen say that he stabbed her 21 times. A number of those sources say that she was stabbed 21 times but only in her face. Others say that she was stabbed 21 times but in her face as well as her neck. To cover his crime, Jesse stabbed himself a few times in the chest. Some sources say 3 times, other sources say 4. Either way, stabbing himself 3 or 4 times, he laid in the parking lot with his wife until the police discovered the pair. Barbara had fatal wounds and Jesse suffered only superficial wounds. The story that Jesse told authorities was that while he and his wife were walking to their car, 2 black men tried to rob them at knife point. At some point, the robbery turned into a violent altercation in which the 2 men began stabbing his wife in her face and neck. In his cockamamie story, he was stabbed while trying to protect his wife. So, the police proceeded accordingly and did their best to find these 2 black men, and that is how they spent the days following this supposed attack. Until blood sample results came back from the crime lab. Those results told authorities that Jesse was the only one present at that deadly altercation in the restaurant parking lot. Those blood samples, coupled with the fact that detectives learned that Jesse had also made inquiries about his wife's life insurance policy just weeks before her killing, led to his eventual arrest. Then, by August of the same year, his conviction and sentence to life in prison. And that is where Jesse met Christopher Scarver and Jeffrey Dahmer, where all 3 were serving life sentences for murder. I guess that you would call Christopher a race-first man. What he did not like about Jeffrey Dahmer was that his victims were minorities, and he got away with killing so many for so long. What Christopher didn't like about Jesse Anderson was that he pinned the murder that he committed on 2 black guys who did not exist. In addition to that, according to Christopher, Jesse had also vandalized a photograph of Martin Luther King while they were in prison. And let's just say that's a big no-no to a guy like Christopher. So, as soon as he was given the chance, Christopher evened the score in his eyes, becoming judge, jury, and executioner on the day of November 28, 1994. All 3 men, Dahmer, Scarver, and Anderson, were tasked with cleaning the gymnasium bathrooms. There was a moment in which they were left unattended, and it was at that time that Christopher Scarver took a heavy bar from the gymnasium that he had taken earlier from the gym and concealed in his pant leg, and bludgeoned both Jeffrey and Jesse. Christopher then returned that bar to the exercise room and somehow walked back to his cell undetected by the prison guards. Dahmer survived the initial beating. However, he sustained massive skull fractures and facial fractures and died an hour after he was taken to a hospital. Jesse was taken to a hospital as well with severe injuries. He was placed on life support for 2 days and passed away after being taken off of it. Christopher Scarver was quickly discovered to be the killer and was subsequently given 2 more life sentences for double murder and transported to a federal prison in Missouri. Scarver's motive is still not completely clear to this day. Perhaps the racial aspect was his only motive, but his own story has changed a few times. In 1994, he said that he didn't like that Jesse Anderson blamed his crimes on make-believe young black men. He also said that God told him to kill Dahmer and Anderson. Later, in 1995, Scarver told authorities who were investigating Dahmer's and Anderson's deaths that he had a hit list of 5 prisoners who he didn't think were worthy of the title murderer because of who they killed and how they killed them. He also said at that time that the prison guards at Columbia Correctional assisted him in the 2 murders, but he didn't say exactly how they helped him. His interviewers didn't believe that part. But then, in 2015, Christopher Scarver was interviewed again, this time at a federal prison in Colorado, and he gave a different reason for killing Dahmer. 10 years later, he said that he had come to hate Dahmer because he taunted other inmates by turning his food into the shapes of severed body parts and then adding ketchup to look like blood. Which of these reasons, if any, do you believe? Regardless, the deed was done. In Jeffrey Dahmer's will, he had requested that no funeral service be held for him. Instead, he wished to be cremated. In September of 1995, Dahmer's body was cremated, and his ashes were split between his mother and father. Do you know who killed less people than Jeffrey Dahmer? Mostly everybody on the face of the planet, but Vanity's husband was convicted of killing 3 people. I published a video about that story that you can see here. My sources for this story are crimemuseum.org, nationalworld.com, thecinemaholic.com, and the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel Archives 2015. Are you a content creator, influencer, or blogger who feels like your platform could use an extra boost? Are you thinking about becoming a content creator, but you don't know where to start, and you want to be sure that you dot all of your I's and cross all of your T's? If so, Lailah Lynn can likely show you exactly what you need to get on your way. Her fun new class is called The Business of Blogging with Lailah Lynn, and in it, she is sharing the fundamental principles of blogging in 2022. Because let's face it, social media is a moving target, and what worked well 5 years ago is likely not what works well today. And with Lailah Lynn, you're getting the information from someone who is successful at putting the principles to practice on her own social media platforms, and she literally has the credentials to back it all up, as she holds degrees in social media marketing. Lailah Lynn is a multiple six-figure earner whose first social media marketing course helped this channel go from earning $30 a month to earning 5 figures a month. I'm ready to dig in my heels and learn even more so that I can earn even more. Are you with me? If so, hit my link at the top of the description box and join her class to access this amazing, affordable advice from a woman who knows her business, the business of blogging. Are you suffering from thinning edges, traction alopecia due to tight hairstyles, dry hair, or breakage? If your answer is yes to any of these, then Unique Organics has the products you need to bring your hair back to life. They have a long line of quality products ranging from alopecia oil to stress and postpartum hair oil, as well as an anti-thinning organic shampoo and conditioner. Unique Organics plant-based products are made with ingredients that are scientifically proven to stop hair loss and promote growth. Visit their website at alopeciahairoil.com and also give them a follow on Instagram at uniqueorganics_haircare. Their links are in my description box. If you want text notifications so that you can get a text a few minutes before I release a new video or before I live stream, text me at 310-634-0865 to let me know, or you can hit my link that's in the description box. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ty Said What Ty Said channel. Please leave a thumbs up and comment so that we can get a discussion going. And share this video on all of your social media, especially your Facebook. That really helps me out a lot. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when my next video is ready for you. And if you don't like what I'm saying, but you love it, feel free to hit that thanks button just below your video screen there and send me some
donations.
Yeah, baby. See you on the next video.